come along then, people. Here we are then. Week 3 of 4. Dragon Trail Gardens in the Group 2 machinery once again. We've got 14 corners, 4.3 kilometres, a little bit shorter than Spa last week, which was a little bit of a tremendous time for all the drivers. Dragon Trail Gardens, fictional circuit based in Croatia, of course, the second circuit to have been added after the seaside circuit that is used so often. These 14 turns have an elevation change, total of 27 metres. A lot of that is the back straight after the second chicane of death. And the drivers, as always, will have a little bit of a qualifying session and a short 40-minute race with times 5 tyres, times 5 fuel. There have been a few changes to the settings. Let's get us on track. Let's get off that a sec. Yeah, so I've had a couple of little changes then to the settings, nothing absolutely dramatic or major. We are looking full damage this time instead of the traditional light damage that wears away, and we have weak penalties and fuel and tyre wear, as far as I'm aware, is still at times 5. Let's have a little bit of a look, shall we? Yes, times 5, times 5. Racing soft, racing hard tyres. Strong shortcut penalties on there. Now this may be important here because that very famous turn 3, turn 4 combo does trip a lot of drivers up who need to just maximise their lap times by taking that chicane a little bit tight. We'll have a little bit of a jump on with the drivers and have a look as well. Let's have a look in the chat. We've got Michael Hepburn, we've got David Dainty. We've got Michael Hepburn. It's got to be a good lesson for Tanso tonight. Well, let's have a look at a little bit of a look at the points. We haven't got an intro video or anything for tonight, but the standings after last week from Spa, then P1 sitting pretty then, 168 points, and Tanso on 103. As far as I can make out, P1 can put this out of reach tonight, mathematically anyway, with the I think that as long as they turn up to the last race, they should be okay. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'll give you the wrong screen. So yeah, Dragon Trail Gardens hosts you tonight then. Let's get on circuit and have a look at the drivers. So, like I said, we've got no intro video tonight, so we'll just have to have a little bit of a manual look at who we've got. So we've got Dizzy. Champ, he had a great race last time out. We got Dylan, of course, had a very good race at Spa last time out. Got Duskovia, a new driver driving for Tanso by those things. And we've got Chalk. We've got Dracula Fury driving for Tanso tonight. We've got Maniaf driving for P1. Rob, obviously driving for P1. D-Dot. Yeah, there's loads of crap going on in chat. Don't know what's going on. These team versus teams, right? Honestly. Yeah, these TVTs, they get a little bit. What's the best way of putting it? They get a little bit of friction. There's a little bit of anger going on. Let's have a little bit of an onboard lap with Dracula Fury anyway. So turn 1 long sweeping left-hander, please finish this lap and not back out of it. Long sweeping left, a little bit of a lift is all that's needed there. Then you're looking for the 100-metre board, starting to break down into 3rd gear. Carry as much speed through the first part of the chicane as you can. Mind the sausage curbs here. Down into 2nd, just maximise your exit onto this back straight. This is where Sector 1 comes to a close here, and the big braking zone, a lot of opportunity for overtaking down here. So you're looking at the 100-metre board, braking down to there. You want to hook up a late apex here because you want to maximise your speed out of the corner. In these Group 2s that have so much downforce, you can flatten this little S section right here. Look for where the gravel starts on the left. You start to get your car turned in. You want to get back over to the right in order to get yourself back over to the left. As you come down to the quadruple right-hander, then look for where the red patching changes there on the left. Get the car hooked in, and as soon as you pass that orange bollard, you can pretty much floor it in these cars. Then your next braking zone is uphill. You can brake a lot later than you think you need to. You're looking for an orange bollard on the left. You count to 1, then you brake. Oh, we've been kicked out. Oh, it's all good fun, isn't it? It's all good fun. D down for the count. How you doing, mate? Yeah, mate. These TVTs are always the same. You know what I mean? Yeah. Oh God. Oh Jesus Christ. Oh. You know what? Alright, this is gonna be fun. Have I given you audio tonight? By the way, I have, haven't I? You can hear. Can you just confirm that you can hear the game? I've not done an audio test. Please let me know if audio levels are okay. There is no race audio yet because we're not on. We're not there. Yeah, I think the just race comments are justified. Here we go then, 10 minutes of quali, not like the F1 boys where they do about an hour. We've just got 10 minutes here then. Not quite sure how long a lap is here at Dragon Trail Gardens. I obviously only do the commentary. I've done no testing. I'll need a beer, mate. I've got a cup of tea on the go. I'm not drinking because I'm driving. As soon as this is done, I'm driving. So I'm not drinking tonight. I am drinking nice hot tea. Audio's good. Cheers, mate. Thank you. It's the problem. I'm down for the count, mate. I'm sure you'll back me up on this. Since coming to PC, getting your audio levels balanced is an absolute nightmare. Because we've got all these mixers and stuff that we can use, but getting it set up right is a pain in the ass. Herbalate's nice. Nice, mate. So you're just going to get progressively less understandable through the stream then, mate, yeah? Cheers for the points as well, bud. I've been able to quickly smash them into the stream. Appreciate it. Let's get these on so you can see the teams we're actually racing for tonight. Well then, so we'll jump on board with Dylan for a hot lap in a moment. By the time he's done, a lot of the drivers will have started their driving. In fact, D-Dot. Should we go on board with D-Dot? Yeah, let's go on board with D-Dot. So D-Dot's another streamer. Streams over on Facebook. He's a much better streamer than I will ever be. Please do go check him out over on Facebook. D.90, his username is the same as his stream name. So go and have a look at him. So we've gone through a lot of the lap already. Well, let's go through it again. So long sweeping left-hander. You look for that very last sign, then you hook up the apex. D-Dot's getting a lot of oversteer there. 100 metre board down to second. D-Dot's going. He's not going in. He's not staying in third. He's making a lot of risk for the sausage curbs there as well. Now you have to do that to maximise your lap time, but you're also taking a lot of risk. These Group 2 vehicles are very lowly slung. So 100 metre board you're looking for, hard on the brakes and on these racing soft tyres. The front right, so he starts at absolute screaming pain. Then as you start to get on the throttle, under the bridge, full beans and spotting your apexes, clocking your turning points. Again, looking for the gravel on the left hand side to start to get your car turned and hook the apex up. But D-Dot actually does a really good job there, just goes a little bit too far over to the right. Lovely, absolutely lovely exit there for D-Dot. Gets this hooked up quite nicely. Does carry a little bit too much speed in for my liking. That hurts him on the exit, but manages to gather it all up in time then as we go under the bridge and up to that braking zone I was looking at. You're looking for this orange marker board, then you count to 1, then you're braking a little bit early on the brakes there for D-Dot. He could probably carry a little bit more speed in, but seems to get it nice and tidy. Goes a little bit deep actually. Nice run of the curb on the exit and full throttle down the main straight, barreling towards the mountains. Then for a 23.8 for D-Dot, good enough for P6 at the moment. Wolfie is your current pole sitter on a 22.9, with Dizzy 4 thousandths of a second behind him on a 22.9 as well. Dylan has just gone pole by, he's doing a Mercedes, he's gone pole by half a second. Oh, chat's blowing up. Yeah, mate, I'm moving over to just OBS, mate, by the way. Like, I'm not doing it yet, but I am. DK, how you doing? Yeah, so Dylan, pole at the moment. Wolfie then at P2. He's just about to finish his second flying lap. Dizzy P3's recovered. Champ P4 then for P1. Maniaf in 5th. It is a P1 domination at the moment at the top of the leaderboard. 5 out of the top 6 at the moment of P1 drivers, with Rob in that P6 spot. Then you got D-Dot repping there for Tanso DMK. He's 7th, with Marshall in 8th. Duskovia in 9th, with Dracula Fury in 10th. A lot of these drivers for Tanso DMK quite new to this, so we're getting used to these as we go. Then we've got Chalk in P11 at the moment, but a lot of people can change this. Dizzy has improved, he's reduced that gap. He's done a 22.4 then, so he's gathering up on Dylan. Champ's improved as well, 22.5, but he's got a lot of damage there, so he'll have to stay out of the way. Wolfie did improve that time round as well. Only by a 10th or so though, so he's still got time to find Wolfie. And yeah, a lot of drivers at the moment. Who's that that's going green? We've got Dracula Fury at the moment that is setting green sector times. We'll see what his second sector is. Let's have a look. Chairs down for the car. I'm just using base. You know me, mate. I'm just whatever's easy. You know what I mean? So Dracula Fury actually hasn't set a representative lap yet, so this will tell us what sort of pace he's got. Problem is, he's on mediums, so he's out there on medium tyres, so in theory he really should be diving in the pits and putting some softs on, which he's not doing. It's very odd. Yeah, there is a bit of a sour taste of it. I don't know what it is, like. Yeah, it's odd, and we don't like to see it, do we? I mean, let's be clear with each other here, guys. It's not what we want. You know, I don't care who you support, who you're in the chat repping, who you're driving for. You just want to have a fun time. It shouldn't really be all that needs to it. So Dylan doesn't improve that lap. Dizzy's on an out lap, he's got him some fresh boots. Champ on out lap as well. Wolfie, so a lot of drivers now, after getting rid of a lot of that fuel ballast, so to speak. D-Dot's got heavy damage as well. So his pit crew are going to have to repair his engine in about 13 seconds. Yeah, so a lot of the drivers then, as they've been going around, have been burning that fuel away. 1 litre of fuel worth about a kilo in weight there or thereabouts, depending on atmospheric conditions. These cars start with 100 litres, or nearest makes no difference, 100 kilos of fuel. The settings in the room tonight, they have near enough got rid of half of that. So far they've got about 45-50 kilos less weight now than when the session started 7 minutes ago. So Dylan and Champ giving each other a drag round. Dizzy not too far behind them then. So the P1 boys looking to set an example. Wolfie is now out on his first flying lap. He should have enough in the tank for 2 of these. Taking all the risk there with that second sausage go. We see just how it unsettles the car. If you get it at the wrong angle, it can throw you off wide. Wolfie's done a great job though. He attacked that at just the right angle, and he's on a personal best first sector. We will just follow this lap round then as he gets a nice and tidy entry into the hairpin, gathers the exit up quite nicely there. Of course, traction control banned in round 3, so the drivers can't use any form of traction assist, which was going to make the start interesting, let's be honest with each other. You're going to see a lot of wheel spin from the start. Wolfie's still up on his time, but he needs to have a fantastic sector 3 in order to really reel the guys ahead in even more. The quadruple right-hander looks about as tidy as it can be. He might get a little bit of slipstream from the car ahead. It's going to be close though for Wolfie. I don't think he's got to have a really solid last sector. Pretty much inch perfect then through the final 2 corners. Could have probably taken a little bit more speed through the second part of that one. Looked to have a little bit of a kick of oversteer as well. Probably slowed him down just a little bit, but he does take a 10th off his time. Into the 22.7s now for Wolfie, but it's still not enough to get any close to Dylan, Dizzy and Champ, who are now all on flying laps as we speak. DK10, how you doing? Cheers, down for the count. Dylan then 22.4 to beat. He sat that in his second lap. Coming in for fresh boots then. He's not going to have time, I don't think, to get round and set another lap. Champ though goes pole. 22.2 for Champ. So Dylan then giving his teammate the slipstream. As Dizzy goes pole now over 22.1, so these times are absolutely flying in then. And it's a P1 domination, it has to be said, near the top. Wolfie's obviously popped out of the lobby for a moment to change some settings, so his time disappears for now, but it will return in a moment. He's probably just ahead of Maniaf as we speak, so Wolfie's probably in P4. He has got D-Dot in P5. D-Dot's just improved to 23.3 for D-Dot. Doing good so far. Let's not commentators curse him too much. He's had some tricky results so far this one, but you cannot blame, you cannot fault his effort, determination, and his, as they say in John Wick, sheer will. This lad is like the trains on Grand Theft Auto. They just keep going, no matter what you throw at him. Qualifying is done and dusted then. Message from Wolfie then, so drivers have got to finish the laps they're on. Dizzy is on another lap. Let's have a look at the timing screen, see if anyone is going absolutely ballistic. Discovery was improving sector 1, sector 2, I'm not sure if it was an improvement. No, it wasn't. It's a good way down actually as well. So not many drivers improving. Let's see if Dizzy improves on 22.0. He does improve as well. Goes pole then by 2.5 tenths. It's as it stands, unless anyone out on track can do anything about it, it's going to be Dizzy P1, Champ, P2, Dylan P3. Wolfie then's times has appeared. He is now P4. Maniaf P5. Duskovia got himself up to 6. We did see him improving then into that second section. We did carry that pace through. D-Dot into P7. Rob 8th, Marshall 9th, Dracula Fury 10th, Chalk 11th, and Pilgrim in the pits. Not sure if his time will even count. Don't be surprised to see Pilgrim at the back, because if he's sitting in the pits when the race starts, it normally doesn't start yet. There he is at the back, look. Right. I expect to see here then a lot of tyre smoke. The drivers have no traction control getting off the line. Everyone seems to get away well. Duskovia bogged down a little bit. That's immediately going to let D-Dot up to P5. The top 3 or 4 seems to get away well. Champ jumps Dizzy into the lead, but the P1 lads have demonstrated, if anything so far, they are the kings of working together. It's Wolfie though that's making the early run-in into the P1 train, but he has got his teammate D-Dot for support. Both Nissan GTRs jumping that hurdle, then Wolfie gets it upset this time round. D-Dot jumps him up into P4 with Rob in 6th at the moment. Duskovia in 7th, providing rear gunner support. Everyone seems to get through the first hairpin in one piece, it must be said, as Pilgrim trying to make up ground. Pilgrim, of course, actually I forgot to mention that the race director notes before this event started did actually say that Pilgrim had got a qualifying ban following an incident at Spa last week. That's why he sat in the pit. So my apologies for making that mistake. Hopefully that's now been corrected and explains why Pilgrim is at the back. Where is the false start? I'm not understanding anyway. What do you mean false start? Oh, the lights thing. You know what? Good question. Oh, there was a little bit of contact there, was it, between Wolfie and D-Dot? Let's jump on board with Wolfie. Did he just get his braking wrong here? What? D-Dot went for a move on Dylan. Oh no, it was... Yeah, it was nothing. No, there was no contact. It was D-Dot going for a move on Dylan. Yeah, I know what you mean. I don't know. It must have been. It must not have been unable. So the P1 lads starting to break away a little bit now. Dylan just under a second ahead of Wolfie. Wolfie's dragging along D-Dot to the party. D-Dot's starting to break clear now. Duskovia is fighting away with Maniaf for that P6 spot. Maniaf just ahead as we go into the braking zone. But Marshall will also look to make a move on the Irishman. Marshall up the inside. Maniaf holds that position. Great defensive driving here by Maniaf. He can't let too many of these Tanso drivers up into the fray. Discovery, the big loser out of that one, with Chalk now in 10th. There's a couple of Tanso drivers down in 10th and 11th, but Pilgrim is the last of the runners at the moment. With the top three still breaking away, Wolfie's just about hanging on. Well, I say just about hanging on, actually they've not broke away that fast at all, to be fair. Wolfie and D-Dot are making a really good team at the moment. They're not giving each other any grief. D-Dot is quite happy just to support the team at the moment and park himself in that P5 position and let Wolfie do all the hard work. What have we got going on here? Dizzy lets Dylan through then into... Oh, he's got a drift going on there by Dylan. That's going to give Wolfie a little bit of an incentive to go up. A little bit of contact there made with Dylan. Wolfie just has to be careful there. Wolfie is driving like a man on an absolute mission at the moment. Again, just gets that sausage curb wrong then as D-Dot looks to just give his teammate a little bit of a push down the straight. Nice move by Wolfie down the inside of Dizzy there. D-Dot's going to try and capitalise on that. We have replay marked that incident, by the way. We will go and have a look at that unless anything else kicks off. I can only set one replay marker at a time. So jumping on board with D-Dot here, who's looking to take advantage of Dizzy just being out of position while he tries to attack then. D-Dot doing an absolutely fantastic job at the moment. Must be said, he's piling the pressure on, but he cannot afford to get sucked into that battle behind him. D-Dot's just got to keep his eyes forward and focused in. Wolfie then, big winner out of that, up to P3. Let's go and have a little bit of a look at what happened down into turn 1. So Dizzy lets Dylan go. Now this is P1's teamwork in order, but that's going to slow Dizzy down for this. Dylan then makes a mistake. Dizzy doesn't want to overtake him, so this gives Wolfie an opportunity to go up the inside. There is contact at the apex, but in all honesty, that's nothing. And Wolfie just hits the wrong side of that sausage curb then, and it just unsettles the car. That contact then between him and Dylan, I'll be honest, there's really nothing in that. You can't read into that too much, as we see Marshall then go all the way up into P6 now. He's got himself past Maniaf. These two were battling away a lap or so ago down here, and Marshall has got that move made now. Up to P6 goes Marshall, the crazy Brit on YouTube. He's going to be under pressure now from the Irishman. You can imagine will not want to let him go into the distance. The issue Marshall's got is D-Dot's nearly 2 seconds up the road now. D-Dot's hanging on to those top couple of drivers. So Marshall's not got any slipstream. So he's going to be very vulnerable then down the front straight is Marshall. Maniaf just needs to have a tidy last corner. Which looks like he has got. Marshall gets a kick of oversteer then. These Group 2 Nissans are very sensitive on the rear. They're not necessarily rear limited. They've got lots of downforce, but coming out of slow speed corners, they don't like to turn, and Maniaf not really putting too much pressure on Marshall here. He's patient enough. The reason why you're seeing so many drivers lose it here down into turn 1 is that they're using that inside curve because it's grippy. The problem is it's that grippy, it unsettles the rear of the car, so the drivers are putting a wheel on the inside, and suddenly the back of the cars haven't got as much grip, so they start to break away. That's why you're seeing that. So Champ then 3.6 seconds out ahead. Dylan in P2, he only got past Dizzy a couple of laps ago. He's got to try and break away from Wolfie, who is a man on a mission. And of course, strategy is going to start playing a part in this one. As we've seen before, we've got a 50-minute race. I don't know if there's any specific rules in terms of must use 2 different compounds of tyres. I'm not sure if there is. If there is, I certainly haven't read them. Dizzy's job now is put Wolfie under that much pressure he can't attack Dylan. So Dizzy at the moment, even though he's not in that P3 position, he can still very much play a vital role for his team. And in fact, he's playing that role for his team now as he goes up the inside of Wolf. He backs out of it though, doesn't want to go too wide down here. There's enough room, but it's just not optimal. There are better overtaking spots on this circuit than Wolfie has done this line so much. He's running that curb so much. I feel it's only a matter of time before that bites him in the arse. In a 50-minute race, you really just need to run around the outside of it. It's not worth the 10th a lap you're getting. The risk is not necessarily worth the reward in all cases. As Marshall goes really deep, is that tyre wear kicking in then for Marshall? So he would have got the slipstream here of Maniaf. Did he account for that in his braking? So a lot of the drivers in these should be braking on where this curb starts on the right. He's a bit late. He's just a little bit late, yeah. Which is fine, it's not dropped him a million miles back, but he's got some work to do now. Who else we got out? We got Rob then, P8 for Rob. Chalk, P9 for Chalk. He's had a good couple of laps. He's got himself up past Dusgovia. Dracula Fury and P1 Pilgrim having a little battle then here towards the back. Pilgrim playing the long game on the medium tyres. So is Dracula Fury. That might be why they're dropping away so much. They are about 25 seconds behind the leaders then. So Wolfie and Dizzy still fighting away. This is good news for D-Dot though. Good news for D-Dot as he can keep in touch with this fight. And in fact, he actually gets a really good run then through turn 1. And he's going to be right in the pocket. The problem is, Dizzy's getting slipstream from Wolfie. Wolfie having to go really defensive now. He's going to have to try and defend from the cutback here. Is beautiful move by D-Dot. Just trying to help his team out. They're going to go 3 wide down here. This is not going to work out well, boys, at all. Wolfie maintains P3. Dizzy P4. Oh, D-Dot just gets tagged. Wolfie's off the road as well. I'm not sure what to make of that. We will go back and have a look at it from Dizzy's perspective. So a little bit, but yeah, I didn't like watching this. Wolfie wasn't really giving Dizzy the space there, which he should have really done. So Dizzy backs out. That gives D-Dot the opportunity to just go up. That angle doesn't really tell us anything. So let's go and have a look at D-Dot's perspective. So this is what D-Dot saw of that. So he's behind Wolfie here. So D-Dot's going to go around the outside. And yeah, he does get tired, but I'll be honest, right, unless... It's hard to say. It's hard to say that Dizzy did that on purpose. I don't really want to sit here and say he did, but... yeah, that's obviously not good for Tanso's chances, because now where's Wolfie? Wolfie's in the pits. He's got severe damage to his car. He's been there a while as well, so don't know what happened to Wolfie. It certainly wasn't on the replay we saw. We did see him in the gravel, but he didn't contact the wall as far as I could see. So I'm not really sure what happened there, but at the moment it's a P1 top 4 with Marshall now the leading light for Tanso DMK. He's got Rob just behind him. He's got Dusgovia not far behind him as well. And D.90 after that contact. We've seen a lot of tyre wear here at Dragon Trail. We do take a lot. With it being an anti-clockwise circuit, that front right does take an absolute battering. 2 quite high speed corners for your front right tyre. Chalk, P9 for Chalk. He's carrying a little bit of damage. He's had contact somewhere. Front aero and front right wheel. So that front right wheel is the one that gets all the loading here. So if he's got any damage to that wheel, it won't be as effective coming through the corner. You see he's having to scrub off a lot more speed than the other guys we've seen. Dracula Fury up to 10th place. Pilgrim in 11th on those medium tyres. And Wolfie now first to the pit stoppers, but had to repair heavy engine damage at the same time as well. So he is a minute behind the leaders now, who and yeah, it's going to take a Herculean effort for Wolfie to rescue this one, which is of course unfortunate. We don't like to see any competitor sort of out of it. We like to have a race, you know what I mean? DK10 saying, come on boys, work together, bump and pull. I have to agree. Well, that's what the P1 boys have done so effectively as well. I mean, they've I mean, don't get me wrong, they've got some, P1 have just got some very, very good drivers in there. So they've been able to occupy the top few spots, but when they have been occupying those top few spots, they've not fought each other, they've been working together quite nicely. As we saw with Dizzy basically just letting Dylan go at the start. It's not the first time stuff like that's happened with these guys. Raffo. Sup, man? So when do we start seeing pit stops then? So a lot of the drivers are down to quarter of a tank there or thereabouts. We've done 10 laps. So logic dictates we've probably got enough in the tank for another couple. Not sure the drivers are going to be able to string it out much more than that though. Tyres screaming in pain. The lap times are starting to drop away. Looking at Marshall, look, his front right is 50% worn. I mean, I know these tyre graphics aren't exceptionally descriptive of what's actually going on, but 50% wear is a lot. And of course, as soon as that wear goes sort of above 20%, you really feel it in the cars, especially on these downforce driven cars that lean so much on the tyres. In fact, Marshall's going to pit. Champ Champ's got similar levels of degradation on his. He's managed to keep it in the mid 23s, which is decent times. And of course, the P1 boys can afford to fuel save a little bit up at the front. Their nearest Tanso competitor is 23.5 seconds behind them. So they can afford, yeah, they can afford to take it steady. Pilgrim then going long, going very long. So we saw him out on the medium compound tyre. His strategy from the back would have literally been stay out of trouble and just try and pick up places owing to other people's issues, and that's basically what he has been doing to very good effect. From the back up to P8 then for Pilgrim, and he's got a bucket load of fuel left on that car, and doesn't have to pit for a little while yet. He's done 11 laps and not long past half a tank. Marshall behind him, full tank, fresh racing softs. D-Dot also pitted. Lap or so ago. Oh no, that's going to give him heavy damage. No, 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 no. I always cut to him at the wrong time. So he would have touched the grass here on the right hand side, the gravel. And he would have tried to accelerate at the same time as well, and unfortunately that's what caused the issue. So D-Dot, having just pitted on the end of lap 9, will have to pit again to repair damage. He might as well top his fuel up at the same time as well, so that's unfortunate. So a lot of the guys at the front now pitting for fuel and tyres. Champ then pitted towards the end of lap 11. Rob and Dizzy going a lap later. Dylan's pitted as well. Rob and Dizzy running very long stints. Dizzy was in the net P3 position, so he should slot back into somewhere similar. Here he comes then. Should hand the race lead back over to Champ. Just just seen a bunch of gravel get flicked up from somewhere, but I can't obviously see anyone off the track. Fortunately for D-Dot, that incident happened not too far away from the pit entry, so he was able to get back in. But it's cost him a ton of time. So D-Dot, who was running quite high up at one point, now down in P12. But it's a long race. We've still got over 30 minutes to go. Believe me when I say anything can happen in these team versus team events. Champ, the first person I've seen get a penalty then. Dizzy taking my line through the chicane, and this is, let me just show you what I mean. So this is not much slower, but it's much less risky. So you carry the speed through the first part, and you're just feathering the throttle. And you are at no risk there. There is no risk, and you're no slower. A tenth, most. Marshall battling it out then. It was Marshall going for a move there. Marshall, of course, out on fresh soft tyres. Pilgrim on quite aged mediums. Jump on board with Marshall. A little bit of contact there. A little bit of a contact there as well. Pilgrim won't be happy about that, I can guarantee it, but that move's been coming for a little while. It's Marshall on fresh softs against Pilgrim on aged mediums. Only really a matter of time before that move happens, I'll be brutally honest with you. The question on everyone's lips really is just how deep is Pilgrim going into this race? Is 3/4 of the tank gone, 14 laps gone. So we've got another 3 or 4 laps in there at the same rate. Is he going for the one stop? He needs to stay out another 5 minutes or so to really make the one stop work. And it's possible. I think he could do it, unless there's a you must run 2 compounds run. Wolfie then, P9 for Wolfie. Just coming up behind Dusgovia now. Dusgovia and P1 Rob. So Wolfie, who was of course in the podium positions at one point. There was an incident there, well, thereabouts here, about lap 7 of the race. Feels like a while ago now, that. Wolfie now with the work to do then. Dusgovia, teammate ahead of him, isn't going to give him any issues. He's too busy trying to battle away with P1 Rob up ahead. P1 Rob now on the back of Pilgrim. Pilgrim's still going strong. He's the only driver to have not pit yet. Champ in the pits again. What's happened to him? Oh, he's got damage. He's got big damage, Champ. We didn't see this. We don't know what's happened. Champ got absolutely demolished somewhere. If anyone could tell me what happened to him, I'd be very appreciative of that. But that's your race leader in the pits with engine damage, and like I said, anything could happen, didn't I? That suddenly spiced this up. Dylan then will take the race lead. Now Dylan is a model of consistency. You can pretty much set him a lap time to set and he'll be there or thereabouts every single lap. I see 7.5 seconds to good at the moment with Dizzy in P2. Maniaf then takes over that P3 position. Marshall finding himself in a P4 position now then, with just everyone around him having accidents. Pilgrim leads this little train of cars then in P5, but it's only a matter of time. I can't imagine he'll give Rob any problems. I expect this move to come up into the double left-hander at the top. I can't imagine Pilgrim's not going to defend to his teammate at all. In fact, no. Yeah, he gets out of the way there. Oh, a little bit of contact there again. I think that's just Pilgrim just trying to gather it up on the exit. There's contact. And it's Pilgrim and Wolfie. Oh my god. Oh my god. What happened there? This is on board with Wolfie now. He's a mile back from this. So Pilgrim goes deep. Yeah, and again, he just got a kick of oversteer. He didn't mean, he didn't mean to whack him. Champ then. P9 for Champ. Now, it wasn't long ago he pitted, was it? It was lap 11 he pitted, so it's an early stop for Champ. Close to repair that engine damage. Now setting purple sector time, so he's on a mission now. He's 45 seconds off the lead, so that's how much that incident cost him. Maybe 50 seconds or so, because he was a few seconds ahead of Dylan. Pilgrim still hasn't pitted, ladies and gentlemen. He's still not pitted yet. He's now carrying a little bit of damage to the rear of his car. He's been hemorrhaging places, but don't forget, he's going to be doing less pit stops over the course of this race than everybody else. So that's to be expected. It's to be expected that in the early stages, and I'd probably expect him to pit this or next lap. He's coming in now. Yeah, he could have probably struck it out for one more, but he's going to come in now. So Dylan's actually just put a lap now on D-Dot, who by rights was not far behind him not too long ago for pure pace. D-Dot's race has just unfortunately unfolded a little bit in the last couple of laps, and in he goes to the wall again. He's damn it, every time I cut to him he seems to hit his car on something. It's another bad night for D-Dot. I don't know what he needs to do to get some luck in these races, you know. Because I'll tell you what, on his day he's a damn good driver. He's a bloody quick carter, I'll tell you that. Don't know, well, it helps that he weighs about 4 stone. So we're about halfway through. We're getting a good idea for what people's strategies are. Most drivers then committed to the 2-stop strategy. Wolfie pits again for the 4th or 19th time this race. So that's going to put him down near Pilgrim, you'd think. Let's see what he does. Your former race leader Champ comes through, setting the fastest lap of 22.4 with work to do. Wolfie out the pits then. He's going to come out just behind Dracula Fury. Who's 12th? At the moment it's D-Dot. So we'll give you a little halfway point, we'll give you a rundown, DK, so we know who's who. So don't forget, pit stops a little bit all over the place, so this order will more than likely change. We've got Dylan, currently P1. He has been chased down though by Dizzy. That gap has dropped a little bit. Maniaf P3, Marshall 4th at the moment, repping it for Tanso DMK. Then he got Dusk Govey, also repping it for Tanso DMK. P1 Rob, just putting a lap then on D-Dot. P6, then Champ P7. P8 is Wolfie, now he's got past Dracula Fury, who occupies 9th. 10th is Pilgrim, the only driver out here to be running a 1-stop strategy, so again he'll be in the phase of the race now where he starts picking up positions. Probably in about 5-10 minutes when everyone else starts pitting. And we've got Chalk P11 and D-Dot P12, so that's your 12 drivers at the moment. 6v6. The excitement in this one has tapered off somewhat, unfortunately. Just looking around on track for anything going on, and unfortunately there's not a lot at the moment. It's just Dylan coming up to lap drivers. He's coming up to the back of chalk 12 now. So that's your current race order. Laps down here in Croatia. Should be nudging in under 40 laps on this one. Just wondering what might happen. So the closest action I can really see on track is between Rob and Duskovia. Rob does have D-Dot behind him, but D-Dot, that's not a position, so D-Dot in theory, I mean, he can unlap himself if he's quicker, but he can't do, we don't want him really doing an Ocon v Verstappen at Interlagos 2020, do we? 2019, do we? So, although D-Dot might go back for it, he can help his teammate out though, unofficially. Can D-Dot, and although he won't necessarily get in the way, he's not going to be too much of an issue. Got the hazards on there. He doesn't have to jump out of the way of Rob. Can unlap himself if he feels he's faster, and I'll be brutally honest with you, D-Dot has the pace because he was running up in like P4, so if he just gets, you know, if he just puts his sort of driving back together again like it was before, there's absolutely no reason why he can't get back up to where Duskovia is and start helping him out a little bit. Just give Duskovia just a little bit of a push, a little bit of a push. So champ update. Just trying to bring the time down into P6. Still pretty decent points. If he's still in P7 by the end of the race, I will be very surprised. Given the pace, he's currently lapping in the 24s, so he's lapping 1 or 2 seconds faster than cars ahead of him, despite looking all out of shape there. Wolfie, another driver that I'm expecting to get up higher than he is, although he does like to batter a sausage, does Wolfie, and he's been doing that all race long. I wonder if that engine damage he had was done by a sausage curve. Maybe not, because I'm sure it was a different point of the track, but you know, look at Dracula through his tyres. They're screaming in agony as you can see him braking there for the hairpin. Right, so let's have a look near the top. So the drivers near the top, the Dylans and the Dizzies of the world, probably a lap or two away from their pit stops. I think the question's going to be is, can they go another 18-19 minutes? 1 tank of fuel and 1 set of softs. The precedent so far is probably not. So do they switch up? What are the teams thinking right now? Like what are the Toto Wolffs and the Christine Horners of the world thinking about this, and looking at what the tactics might be and the race strategy now that the positions have played out and we know where everyone is. We know Marshall's got to pit in the next lap or so. He's a driver that's had very good pace today. Duskovia P5, then Robin 6th. Where's D-Dot? What's happened to D-Dot? He's in 12th. He's pitted again as D-Dot. He's drifting his way around the circuit. So Dylan carries on. Dizzy carries on. I'd imagine Maniaf will carry on as well. Yeah, he will do indeed. Marshall, I'd imagine, will pit this lap. So he's having a good race so far, is Marshall. But what he does now might well set a signal to the top 3 as to what they should be doing. So if he suddenly comes out on medium tyres with a full tank, you know he's thinking of stretching this stint out. So Duskovia in the pits as well. Dylan's coming to the quadruple right-hander, so he's going to have to make a decision soon. His team's going to have to make a decision soon. I'm pretty sure he will stop. He's going to have to. Marshall out. Soft tyres for Marshall. So he's, yeah, they're all going aggressive, which is music to Pilgrim's ears then, as the more drivers ahead of him that go aggressive with the strategy, the more likelihood is they'll need to pit again. So in comes Dylan. Perfectly timed pit stop, came in with 1 litre of fuel remaining. Dark Smoker, how are you doing? So Dylan pits from the lead. Dizzy has enough to go for another lap, so that's exactly what he'll do. He can extend his stint, means he'll have fresher tyres towards the end of the race and a little bit less work to do regarding fuel saving. Champ Champ, not a net P4 at the moment. When he pits, he'll drop a few positions. Same as Rob. And Wolfie then, another one to throw into the mix, potentially, if he can keep himself out of the wall, I guess. So Dylan out. He should have timed it okay. I think 16.5 minutes. On a set of softs, full tank, I think that should be okay. I haven't really got the quick maths in my head in order to work that out, but right there, let's do it. So he's got to do 12 laps, basically. There or thereabouts. That's how long's left in the race, I imagine. I'm guessing, guys. If anyone of the drivers is listening to me, like I've literally just done quick maths on my calculator, I might be wrong. I think 13 laps is a pretty safe estimate. So if you can get 12-13 laps out your tank at the minute, and you're confident that you can make the tyres last, don't forget the tyre wear is on ×5, which means towards the end of the stint, start to feel it. See your Maniafs and your Dylans of the world who did an extra lap or two on their tyres, they might feel that. Chomp Chomp now pits, so anyone pitting now won't have to pit again. I don't think that's going to be it. Just flicking through the field. I think Pilgrim, well, he's been fuel saving like an absolute boss all afternoon, but I mean his pace has suffered because of it. But from the back of the grid to P9, purely on strategy so far, is pretty decent. Then you got D-Dot, and I really do feel for D-Dot. Like he's a lovely guy and one of the best streamers, in my opinion, one of the best streamers around. And it just doesn't get any luck in these events, unfortunately. As Wolfie pits, has he pitted? No, it wasn't him that pitted, it was someone else. But Wolfie on P1 Bob. Finally getting some overtaking on screen. That was a nice move then by Wolfie. I want to say Rob didn't put up too much of a fight for that one. Yeah, it was Rob that came out of the pits actually. So Max Verstappen cam then, the one that looks behind him, not actually what we want to look at. And you can see how he angles his car towards the sausage curbs, Wolfie. Now he's got to chase down Champ Champ, and that's a harder task than it sounds like. Champ Champ was leading the race at the start until he got some engine damage. I would love to find out what happened to him. But I think the positions we've got now are the positions that they'll be battling for the remainder of the race. I'm not expecting any more pit stops unless it's for damage. So one more time then, before we go into the final 10 minutes or so. We've got Dylan running ahead. Dizzy, P2 for Dizzy with Maniaf in P3. Marshall P4 for Tanso with Duskovia P5 for Tanso as well. There is yellow flags out though. I've instinctively hit my... Oh, it's D-Dot. did D-Dot just do a little bit of a sausage loving then? There's a lot of speed carried in here. That's very fast, D-Dot. Yeah, there we go. So D-Dot smashing the sausages, gives himself a little bit of damage in the meantime. That won't affect him too much, just a little bit of damage to the rear diffuser. Effectively means the rear downforce won't be working quite as well as it normally would do. So where do we get to? We got to Marshall, then we got Duskovia P5, Champ P6, with Wolfie in P7, Rob in 8th, Pilgrim 9th. This is now his position. Dracula Fury's got the job of catching him up now. And that gap is 14 seconds. He's got 12 minutes to do that. Keep an eye on that, because we'll see. Then we've got Chalk in 11th, and D-Dot at the moment running in P12. So here's your race leader then, coming to put a lap on Dracula Fury. See if there's any battling going on the track. Someone's having a party, I can hear. You can hear that rave music in background. We've had a retirement from the race. It looks like D-Dot has retired from this one. So unfortunately, that's I did say about D-Dot at the start that he's not having the best of luck. Chalk though with a 23.9, that's a decent lap time then for Chalk. Right, so what have we got to watch for? Closing 10 minutes. I think, can Wolfie gather Champ in? Where can Champ finish? Because on paper, he should get himself in. He should get himself up to the back of Duskovia before the 10 minutes is finished, given the time differences between the two. So he's lapping about a second faster a lap there or thereabouts most of the time. And Wolfie, I've got to be honest, he's not catching Champ anywhere near as fast as he needs to be, if at all. Can Pilgrim maintain his P9 position? I think, you know what, if he finishes in 9th from back of the grid, medium tyres, he'll be pretty happy with that. He gained 3 positions. Granted, it's probably been a little bit of a dull race for him because he's spent most of it lumping around near the back, but sometimes that's the nature of the beast. That's exactly what you have to do. So this is week 3 of 4 in this event. Next week is the final. But at the moment, P1 look to be doing a decent enough job to pick up a decent enough points haul here that they might even have the job done by next week. We will see. We will be racing next week anyway, I think, no matter what. Well, don't forget Tanso DMK, still quite new, so they don't do a lot of TVTs. It's not really their thing. They do a lot of different sorts of leagues. TVTs aren't really their thing, whereas P1, they're kind of TVT specialists. It's kind of what they do. They're known for. They've got a reputation for this. So to see P1 in a TVT doing well is not really a surprise for me. It's a bit of a busman's holiday for these guys, I'm afraid. So they do like these loud liveries as well. They're very interesting designs at the I don't know who designed these cars, by the way. I'm not actually too sure. sim racing groups rocking different liveries. The Tanso DMK chalks left the room as well. We're going to be down to 10 drivers at this rate. The Tanso DMK one, a 2-tone, 3-tone, 4-tone affair to signify the joining of groups. Mr. Podium there on the back of Marshall's car. That's what it's known as. In fact, have they all got little personalised things on the back of it? What does Govies say? Let's have a look. He's running Tate's livery, so nothing at the moment. Oh, Champ in the wall. Champ in the wall after the chicane. Sorry. What happened to him? Was this another attack of the sausage? It was. All sorts of wrong there, out of shape, and he just tried to give it a bootful when the right rear was on the grass, and there's no grip on grass. So these slick tyres didn't grip very well. That has given Wolfie a break then, so Wolfie then up to P6. Can he do anything about Dusgovia in 5th? I don't think he'll really care because it's the same team. So Tanso suddenly are getting some half decent points out of this. They're in 4th, 5th and 6th at the moment. P1 do occupy the top 3, so they will take away a big haul of points from this. 6 minutes remaining, of course. That can change. I don't expect it to, but it can. And providing Marshall, Dusgovia and Wolfie don't get themselves into any trouble in the next 6 minutes, should be okay. Champ, 4.5, setting deficit to Wolfie. I'll be honest, with damage, I don't really see him reducing that too much. Getting nailed on P7 for him at the moment. Rob 8th, not under any threat from Pilgrim behind him. Technically behind him, as Dylan comes to put a lap on Pilgrim. So Dylan then on track, lapping pretty much everyone into the top 10. Dizzy into the pits. Why? Why is Dizzy pitted? Why is he pitted? He didn't need to, surely. Why is he pitted? Is it because he can? Is he just going for that fastest lap or something? I'm so confused. I'm baffled. I'm not sure we get fastest lap points, so what's the point in it? Either way, he's not lost a position, who cares? He's still in P2. So the other things going on track then. So Rob in auto drive at the moment, so that tells me he's in his pause menu. So Pilgrim then. Pilgrim might get a free position out of this. Again, it's on another P1 driver. But at the moment, Rob not really bothering with this one. We have lost a couple of Tanso drivers out of this. So at the moment, the only Tanso drivers we've actually got are Marshall, Dusgovia, Wolfie and Dracula Fury. The rest are P1 drivers. Tanso drivers, we're down a couple of them. I want to say we lost Martin early doors, then D-Dot and Chalk. P1 have had no retirement so far this race. So Rob obviously been for his wee and now back, still ahead of Pilgrim. Dracula Fury looking to get rid of those mediums. He's near the back anyway, he might as well have a few full laps on softs. I'm sorry ladies and gentlemen, this race isn't exactly a classic, is it? Dragon Trail Gardens can do that to you sometimes. It can produce some absolute bangers. today isn't one of them. The Group 2 machines do translate quite nice here. The only problem for the Group 2s, I think, with this is the track isn't as fast and flowing as this car normally suits. D-Dot. Yeah, D-Dot, I saw something, mate. I think it looked worse than it was. But again, without seeing the replay and all that, it's hard to say. And it's not Maniaf pits as well. Did they think they're not going to make it on fuel or something? Well, they just have the fastest lap. Duscovia pits as well. So yeah, I think they're just getting a bit wary that they're not going to make it on fuel now. So Wolfie's immediately going to pick up a couple of free positions here. Don't get me wrong, it looks like Marshall and Duscovia only going to need a splash and dash, but that's going to give Champ an opportunity to pick up some positions. That's Marshall. Yeah, Marshall and Duscovia can come out. So Marshall didn't change his tyres, so tyre change in the pit stops cost you about 2 seconds. Yeah, no, D-Dot, yeah, mate, I get it completely. We did replay it on stream and have a look from both perspectives. It's a really hard one to call. I think it's one of them where, like, if I were a steward officiating this, I'd be like, you know, if you got radar, use it to the other one. But it did not look intentional. Like, just body language, you can tell sometimes with cars. But mate, sorry about that. Like, you know, I'm always bigging you up in the streams and stuff, and you had a really good start as well. Yeah, so it was a shame, really. So, yeah, it was Dizzy, I think. It was when they were all battling, you know, through... Is anyone coming down? There's no one there. Through the S's, it was D-Dot, Wolfie and Dizzy near the start of the race. Like 6, 7, something like that. Yeah, no, I get it, it's cool. I'm not here to start a riot. I have to take a bit of a neutral stance, as you can appreciate, in these commentaries, because, well, I want to be impartial anyway. But what I will say is it didn't look like... Yeah, it didn't look like... It didn't... I don't think he saw you and went, oh, smash. Oh, we've actually finished. I was too busy talking, so we've actually finished then. So Dizzy's going to finish P2. Maniaf is going to get that 3rd place. Some drivers near the back have finished as well, because we've got that much lap traffic. So Pilgrim's going to grab 9th. Maniaf 3rd. Wolfie's going to get 4th in the end, so a fantastic rescue drive for Wolfie. Just about held out on fuel. Looks like he's literally got fumes left in the car, but should be enough to get him to the start-finish straight. Yes, it is. So he should be able just to rumble across the line then in P4. I think he's going to be... Yeah, he's out now. Duscovia, P5 for him. Good race for Duscovia with Marshall, P6. Champ in 7th. He will walk away from this one probably a little bit annoyed. And doing a lap of honour, Mr. Dillon, driver who's operating on another level. Great teamwork from the P1 guys, absolutely has to be said then. Champ takes him out. I love that. Champ just waited to take him out. Go on, boys. Go on, there we go. There we go. Dylan goes through. Yeah, P1 are Team VT specialists. It has to be like, it's what they do. They do love to do that, so. D-Dot, you say that, mate. You say that. I mean, yeah, they're fast. I'm not disputing that. But in the early stages of that one, you were more than holding your own. You know what I mean? You were in the you were in the mix there, and it just unfortunately contact. It's not the widest of circuits, is it? So GT45, great commentary. Thank you, mate. Appreciate that. Not gonna lie, it's not been a classic race tonight. It's probably not my best work, but there we go. Diz, hello people, great race. Yeah, it was a good race for you P1 boys. Yet again taking another points win, but Tanso, to be fair to him, Tanso with 4th, 5th and 6th, the drivers that they've got in there did, you know, they held their own. So Mel Dixon, cheers Mel, cheers down for the count. Dylan, well done mate, well done. 72 hours to put reports in. Yeah, it was D-Dot, it was, dude. It was. Like, I know what you're like. You will beat yourself up at any given opportunity. You shouldn't do that, because that will be undeserved criticism of yourself. You more than held your own tonight, mate. Where are we at next week, boys and girls? What's the last one? Alright, lobby's closing, so we're going to get kicked out. We might have a look at the replay, actually. Have I got a scene set up for this sort of thing? Let's have a look. Does this work? No, this don't work. Sorry. Let's go back. That scene is set up for that, but I haven't got it working because I need to map it to the thingy-mabobby-majig. Let's have a quick peek at the replay, shall we? Yeah. Kudos there by D-Dot. Good race, P1. Yeah, mate, this is what they do, you know what I mean? P1 are kind of like specialists at this sort of thing. Right, so I'll tell you what, let me turn these off a sec. Just so we can have a look at this replay. And then I've got to go. Yeah, was a strong drive. So D-Dot, right, you started P7, yeah? There you are. So bear in mind you qualified P7, which is a good position, about mid-pack. Really good start. Jumped 2 cars off the start straight away. Granted, Robbie's like up your arse, but he backs out, I think. So your start helped you a lot, that was really strong. Wolfie and Dylan started to fight a little bit. And then this, yeah, this is the bit where I was like, go on D-Dot, up to 4th. I'm going to have to re-watch your stream later, mate, and see what you made of this. I'm not going to replay. Or shall we? Shall we have a look at the incident? No, because it'll just cause arguments. I'm not going to do it. There is an official reporting process in place for any drivers that want to do such things. So let's just silently have that on in the background. Right, and we'll get this wrapped up then. So, yeah, I think that's it for me. Just wait and see if any more comments come in or anything else. I will wrap it up there. Thank you very much for tuning in. Next week at 9 o'clock we will be live once more for the final race from this. I do have another thing coming up, which is a MRC and Race Asylum collaboration. It's called Street Racers. So if you're interested in that, check out Race Asylum over on Discord or Mature Racing Club over on Facebook. There will be events set up that you can go and have a look at. And get yourself involved. I think it's N300 GT Sport with full tuning. And I'll be doing commentary on that league. So I'm looking forward to that one because that's going to be all sorts of interesting. No worries, McAfee. It's all good, mate. It's all good. I know these lobbies shut down straight away, and you don't need to thank me, mate. But I appreciate it. Thank you. So yeah, another good race in these Group 2 machines. We'll be back for more next week. I don't know where we are next week, but hey, we'll find out. And that's it from me. So see you then. Have a good weekend. Take care of yourselves. And yeah, be nice to each other. No more arguing. Thanks.